Hello, kia ora, g'day. I'm Philip Duncan from Weather Watch TV on YouTube with your Australia-only forecast through until Sunday. There isn't a massive amount going on this week, but we do see severe thunderstorms and isolated showers forming here and there. So we're going to try and track those for you. By the way, the spring westerlies, they carry on for Tasmania, as you can see here on our Monday PM situation map. So this shows how warm it's going to get into the afternoon. What you notice as we get in towards the later part of today, much of Australia is into that 30-degree mark. That's the shading you're seeing in here, but a slightly cooler airflow coming off the Coral Sea. So those of you right along the coastline, temperatures are down a wee bit thanks to that sea breeze. And the further down you go into places like the ACT, Victoria, obviously Tasmania, those places getting a cooler airflow off the sea, so temperatures are down. Many of you say that that's quite refreshing at the moment. Others of you, especially out of Melbourne, we've had more complaints from Melbourne in the last few months than any of the other main centres. That's obviously a sign of the instability you've been having around there with some of your temperatures and the wet weather showers that you've had, although not necessarily a huge amount. So many places are feeling the heat as we go through the end of today. Let's go into Tuesday. We'll start with Melbourne. Obviously, the Melbourne Cup looks pretty settled. Considering the last few years, I think there have been windy sou'westers and showers. This doesn't look quite so bad. The winds are looking fairly light. They may pick up a little bit into the afternoon. Variable winds there, mostly dry. The afternoon showers are mostly around New South Wales. A couple of heavy falls up around Newcastle, Port Macquarie and northwards. Could be some severe thunderstorms as well. Speaking of thunderstorms, from about, let's say, Uluru, Ayers Rock, down towards Adelaide, there's a line of showers and convergence, thunderstorms forming into the afternoon. Some of those could get heavier into more populated areas, so it's not all bad news for those who need rain. Of course, not everybody wants rain at this time of the year. It depends on what you do for a living out on that farm. You've also got the mild and northerly winds coming down, so like I say, pretty good day around Victoria and Tasmania, not looking too bad either. But we jump over to Perth and the southwest of Western Australia, and you're seeing that next change coming through. Southwesterlies, a few showers, and temperatures down a wee bit. Elsewhere, there is not much to talk about on Tuesday. The big picture on Wednesday shows the line of convergence up here in the tropics. Most of that is still north of Darwin, although you do see a couple of downpours potentially forming there with thunder. Northwest winds coming down, so the red line here being sort of dragged down. You see it's kind of consistent up here around the tropical islands. It's consistent out here over the Indian Ocean, comes into Australia where we've got low pressure, drags down that heat and that humidity. So temperatures are going up on Wednesday in many places, except across the southern half of Western Australia. This big high out over the Indian Ocean, pulling up cooler airflows. It's not majorly freezing or anything, but the windier flow through here means temperatures are down in the south. More showers and downpours around the southern part of Northern Territory coming in towards Alice Springs. And also a line of thunderstorms, the one that we saw on Tuesday, gets dragged further over towards Victoria. But I have to say, because of the air pressure in this area, you may not really get very much wet weather out of it. So if you need rain in Victoria or you need rain through inland parts of New South Wales and Queensland, you're not really likely to be seeing that as we go through Wednesday. But on Thursday, this line of convergence, if you might have noticed, it starts out here on the west and gradually shifts towards the east as we go through the days ahead. So Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening, we see these downpours, bit of low pressure around New South Wales, that creates more instability. If you're going into Canberra, the ACT, there could be some thunderstorms around the hills and ranges for you, or at least just some afternoon downpours forming. Down around Tasmania, similar story, fairly calm day. A few showers do bubble up there for you. There's a small bit of low pressure over you, but in come the next lot of windy westerlies. So not a lot happening around a large portion of Queensland, not a lot happening around a large portion of Western Australia on Thursday. The energy is, though, around the southern coastline. So as we go into Friday, more of those downpours continue as it tracks along to the east, moving out to the Tasman Sea. Won't be very much for Lord Howe Island, certainly not much for Norfolk Island. But as we go down to Tasmania, sorry that the key's over the top of you a bit here, sorry Hobart, but you've got a few showers coming through, west to southwest winds blowing through for you on Friday. But perhaps the more important feature, this low pressure zone or zones forming around Western Australia. These are going to produce some very heavy downpours, severe thunderstorms, potentially the risk of damaging hail and flash flooding. Depends on where you are, obviously, for the flash flooding portion of it, because you've got to have the right sort of valley and the right landscape around you. But we've got these downpours forming here on Friday. Maybe not too bad on Friday itself, but as we head into the weekend, a lot more energy comes out of those thunderstorms. And so we do see severe thunderstorms along the central and southern border, eastern border, that is, of Western Australia. So parts of Northern Territories, parts of South Australia, also getting those severe thunderstorms. Basically what you're seeing in here is from about the Kimberley and the Pilbara regions all the way down to Esperance and the southern coastline. Those thunderstorms in Western Australia are bubbling up and spilling over into the Northern Territory and over into South Australia. A few showers also may contain thunderstorms around Brisbane and the Queensland-New South Wales border. Otherwise, the showers you see in the east are fairly harmless, and the usual showers coming over Tasmania. Usual showers because that's been the pattern we've been under for the last wee while. Our final map on Sunday, as far as forecast concerned, show all of this low pressure through the interior of Australia. Now, a lot of these thunderstorms are in more remote places where not a lot of people live, but you can certainly see this line of thunderstorms coming into South Australia, affecting around Alice Springs. So if you're going from Alice Springs down to Ayers Rock, Uluru, that area, thundery weather. And if you're carrying on further down towards places like Kalgoorlie, that's where those showers start to run out. But plenty of showers. Most of these coastal ones may not be as heavy, coming off the sea. And then along the eastern side here, also got showers forming with a bit of a windy north to northwesterly flow coming down around it, the high pressure zone now moving out into the Tasman Sea. So just to quickly recap the rainfall going through for the next several days ahead, this is through until the Sunday map we just showed you. Most of those heavy downpours, like I say, more remote areas, basically halfway between Alice Springs and Kalgoorlie. And those rainfall totals are getting up to 60 or 80 millimetres. For some areas, that is nearly a year's rainfall, or at least half a year's rainfall. So a lot of rain falling in those places, but the more populated areas not seeing as much in the way of rain. But we do see a few heavy downpours between Brisbane and Sydney. We got the heavy downpours in Western Australia and also around Esperance region, and going into some of those inland parts between Perth and Kalgoorlie, you might be getting 10 to 15, maybe 20 millimetres if you're lucky and if you want it, that is. That is all from me for today. Now, a programming note, we've got a couple of days off this week because of other business commitments we've got. We are a small business after all. So we're not here on Thursday for our usual video, but we're pushing it out till Friday. So you don't have to wait a day longer. And our next Australian update will be coming this Friday. Have a great week ahead, and we'll see you later in the week.